It's a movie.
It's a movie. Is it life-size, bigger, or smaller?
Smaller.
Okay. Is it in color or black and white?
It's in color.
Okay. Is it bright, dim, or dark?
It's somewhere between dim and bright.
Okay, between dim and bright. Is the picture a panorama? Does it like go on forever, or does it have a frame around it?
Goes on.
It's a panorama. Are you in the picture experiencing it, or are you watching from a distance, like seeing yourself in the picture?
I'm seeing myself in the picture.
Okay. Is the movement in the picture make a difference in your motivation? Like, is it moving fast or slow?
It's moving kind of slow.
Kind of slow. Is this picture on the right, the left, or the center?
The left.
Okay. Is it up, middle, or down?
Middle.
Okay. Do you hear sounds that cause you to be motivated when you hear this?
Not really.
Do you hear your own voice?
No.
You don't say anything to yourself?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, you do. Okay, great. What do you say to yourself?
Go for it.
Go for it. Is that the kind of tone of voice you use as well?
No.
Let me hear what the tone of your voice is.
Go for it.
All right, good. And so we get a chance to hear what her tone of voice sounds like when she's in that state of mind. And what kind of sensations do you feel in your body? Do you feel tension any place when you get real motivated to do this?
A little anxiety.
Little anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where is that tension if you feel it in your body? Is it in your hands? Is it in your arms? Is it in your shoulders? What part of your body?
It's in my chest.
It's in your chest. And is it tension or pressure, or how do you feel it?
Pressure, really.
A little bit of pressure. Okay. And how do you breathe when you're really motivated like that? There you go, good. And what are the facial muscles like in your body when you're really motivated? Do you feel any feelings up in your face?
Yeah.
What kind of feelings do you feel? What kind of sensations?
Like a determination, like...
Okay. And she's showing us what she does with her body and her face. So what we're looking for is, when she's motivated, what does she do with things that she does in her head? How does she look at things? How does she speak to herself? What does she say to herself? And in addition, what does she do in her body to maintain that state of motivation? Because if we learn how she does this here, we can have her do the same things, make the same kinds of pictures, same kinds of body sensations, and she'll be motivated to do something else. Now, what I'd like you to do is open your eyes for a moment, and then close your eyes again. And I want you to think of something you're not motivated to do, but would like to be motivated to do. Something that right now it's like you'd like to be motivated, but you're not. Maybe like working out, if that's something, or cleaning your room, or anything that you'd like to be motivated to do. You really would, but you're just not motivated to do it right now. Can you think of something like that? Mm-hmm. Can you make a picture of that thing that you're not motivated to do, but would like to be motivated to do?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, is it a movie or a still frame, this picture?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. Is it moving at the same speed, faster, or slower than the other movie where you were motivated?
Slower.
It's moving slower. Is it in color or black and white?
Color.
Okay. Is it bright, dim, or dark?
Dark.
Dark. Is it a panorama, or does it have a frame around it?
Has a frame.
Okay. Are you in the picture experiencing it, or are you watching it from a distance or seeing yourself in it?
I'm watching it from a distance.
Okay. Is there a difference in location? If you looked at both pictures simultaneously, the one where you were really motivated, like as if your mind was a split screen, and the other one where you weren't motivated, is one of them closer than the other one? Which one's closer?
The motivated one is closer.
Okay, so the one where you're not motivated, it's further away. Okay. The one that you're not motivated, is it on the right, the left, or the center?
The right.
Interesting. Do you notice all the opposites and the differences here? Great. Is it up, middle, or down?
Down.
Okay. And do you say anything to yourself about this thing that you're not motivated to do? Yeah, it's pretty obvious there's a little difference there, isn't there? What do you say to yourself?
I'm too tired to do this.
I'm too tired. Is that the tone of voice you use?
Yep.
And what kind of sensations do you feel in your body? Do you feel tension or relaxation?
Like a laziness.
Laziness. Heavy feeling or light feeling?
Heavy.
Heavy. Where do you feel that heaviness?
In the lower half of my body.
The lower half of your body. I want you to make this thing you're not motivated to do, make it into a movie that's moving just as fast as the movie where you're motivated. What happens when you make it go just as fast?
I feel a little more motivated to do it.
Okay, and can you see the difference, those of you here and those of you on camera, in her face when she gets a little more motivated? There's a little determination that begins to happen there if you watch her face, the muscular tension. What I also want you to do now is make that picture of the thing you weren't motivated to do and are becoming motivated to do now much brighter. And how do you feel now? Does it make any difference?
Mm-hmm.
How much of a difference? On a scale from 0 to 10, how much more motivated are you? 10 being totally motivated, where are you now?
7.
7. Where were you when we started this before we made these changes?
2.
2. Okay, so brightness makes a big difference in how motivated this woman becomes. Let's try this one. Make it into a panorama. So it's unending, it just expands. Okay, does that make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you now? On a scale
7.5.
7.5. Okay, that one doesn't make as big a difference for her as brightness. How about this one? Bring it closer. Bring that picture much closer. So it's just as close as the motivated picture was. And where are you now?
8.
8. So this one also is important, but not as powerful as brightness. Try making it even brighter. What happens now?
More.
Even more.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So brightness is a big one for her. Now try this. Take that picture of not being motivated on the right, move it to the left, and tell me what happens.
I'm confused. I'm not really that unmotivated anymore.
You're confused because you're not that unmotivated anymore.
I mean, I'm not even...
How do you feel about doing this thing?
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay or motivated? Which
okay.
One? Okay, so you're not totally motivated yet. So have you moved it over to the left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what I want you to do is take it from down and put it in the middle. So it's left, middle. Okay? Where are you now on a scale from 0 to 10?
Feeling pretty okay about it.
What number on a scale from 0 to 10?
Oh, about an 8.5.
8.5, okay, that's fine. Now what I want you to do is I want you to say to yourself, go for it. The same way you do there. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Yes, how do you feel now?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Now, what number are you on a scale from 0 to 10?
9 3/4.
9 3/4? Okay, create some pressure in your chest. And say, go for it, while you got the pressure in your chest.
Go for it.
Now where are you?
10.
Okay, very good. Give her a hand. Thank you very much. So this changing of how we picture things and how we say things to ourselves, we call those changes sub-modalities. And all they are, again, is doing is changing how you represent things with more precision. Now, instead of just changing what you're thinking about, you're changing how you're thinking about it or how you're picturing it. So now it's brighter, or it's more focused, it's closer, or it's further away. And one small change in the way you represent something instantly changes your state and, again, has a great chance of changing your behavior as well. So what you want to learn to do is discover which subtle changes in how you picture and how you speak and how you listen to things make the biggest changes in your state and make the changes in the state that you really want. At any moment in time, if you're not feeling motivated, you can just close your eyes, think about what you want to get motivated to do, and make it the way that would motivate you. But the challenge is, if you got to do that every time consciously, sometimes it's difficult. There's a way to make these changes last. There are ways to make these changes be more consistent. There are ways of triggering yourself so that over and over again, anytime something happens that used to make you feel bad, that trigger can make you feel good. We're going to talk about this thing we call an anchor. An anchor is some stimulus, whether it be a picture, a sound, or a touch, that the minute it happens, it fires off a certain state inside of you. And there are all kinds of anchors, you know, a spinning red light, the sounds of a siren, the American flag, a policeman in uniform, someone saying, "Can I see your driver's license?" Those are all different kinds of anchors, triggers. And the way they get created is real simple. Take a look at this. If you look up here, when an anchor is created, it's anytime someone is in an intense state. What an intense state means is when your whole body's involved. States that are intense are like depression, joy, ecstasy, happiness. Anytime your whole body is associated to a certain feeling, you're in an intense state. So anytime somebody's in any kind of intense state, positive or negative, if while they're in that state, someone else comes by and does something over and over and over again, consistently, while you're in that feeling mode, like, say, snapping your fingers, then they can come back later and snap their fingers, and you'll feel the same way because you link that stimulus directly to the state. That's what Ivan Pavlov did. His idea was that you could condition the human nervous system or an animal's nervous system to respond automatically on cue. He took a bunch of dogs. He triggered these dogs to be in a certain state of hunger. He did it primarily by putting food in front of these dogs when they're very hungry. While they're at the peak of this state of hunger, what did he do? He rang a bell, rang a bell, rang a bell. In other words, he conditioned them so that while they were in the peak of this experience, he consistently provided some unique sound. Till pretty soon, he didn't need food. He could just ring a bell, and instantly the dog had saliva. Here are the keys to anchoring. There are basically 2 keys. Number 1, to have somebody be anchored, they have to be in a state where their whole body is involved. So let's try something. Let's anchor some nice states in. Let's sit right now the way you'd be sitting. Change your state. If you felt really, really excited about something, really excited with total positive expectation, and breathe the way you'd be breathing if you have total positive expectation. And what I want you to do is I want you to take your right hand and I want you to snap your fingers when you're at the peak of that state. And every time you snap your fingers, make it like something that makes you feel even better. And I want you to do it 3 or 4 times until every time you snap your fingers, you feel better and better. Go ahead and try it. Stronger, where every time you feel even better, and you feel even better, and you feel even better, and then may even say something while you're doing it that makes you feel like, that's right. And say it the way that would make you feel even better, and even better, and even better, and even better. Excellent. Then stop for a second. Now, change to some other state. And notice how you change another state. You change your body, don't you? Great. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go from that state to snap your fingers in the exact same way, make the same sound, and notice what happens in your body. Go ahead. How many of you feel the instant state change? Now, that's a real simple example of anchoring, but you can see how powerful it is. Now, that's just one little anchor. What if every time in your day, what you did is you started your day by putting yourself in an outrageous state where you felt really positively expectant. You went, yes, yes, or whatever it is that you said, but you snapped your fingers about 5 or 10 times. And let's say later in the day something happens that doesn't feel so good. What do you want to be able to do? You want to be able to change states. So then all you do is reach back and you go, yeah, yeah. And although you may go, well, yeah, somebody's going to look at you and laugh. Let them laugh. Successful people do what the failures won't. And you want to manage your states. Everybody gets down and depressed. You don't want to be able to do that. You want to be able to shift. Everyone will go to that place, so will you, but you want to be able to shift in a moment. And this becomes a trigger. So there are really 4 keys to effective anchoring that are really important for you to remember. For an anchor to work, first, a person has to be fully associated. That is, they have to be in an intense state where their whole body's involved. If you wanted to anchor me, for example, and I was kind of like this right now, you could anchor me, but if I'm like this and my whole body's involved, it'd be a more powerful anchor. It would last longer and it'd be more effective. The second key to anchoring is you must apply your trigger. That is, you must make the sound or whatever it is you're using to link to the emotion. You have to do it right at the peak of that person's emotional state. The third key is, if you're going to have an effective anchor, you need to make sure that once the person's in the state you want to anchor, let's say they're laughing, for example, while they're in this state of laughter that you want to anchor, you need to make sure you use a unique trigger or a unique stimulus. The last key, number 4, is you must make absolutely certain that when you set an anchor, you realize how you did it so that you can replicate that anchor effectively. Let's move on to one more piece here. And that is, let's go on to something that's kind of fun, and that's phobias. Phobias are really great. Because with phobias, what happens is a lot of people think phobias are these uncontrollable responses. And they are for most people. When a person has a phobia, what happens is they have a fear that's literally overwhelming to them. They really don't have much control over it physically or emotionally. And most people who go through phobias try and get traditional help, and a lot of times that help may require 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years of therapy or more. Now, fortunately, with neurolinguistic programming, what they've basically found out is what creates a phobia and how can you eliminate it. And the way they did that was finding out how phobia got started in the first place. And the way a phobia happens is basically it's a giant anchor. It's a giant stimulus response. Like maybe you know somebody who has a phobia to heights, that they're fine. If you get them walking here on the ground, no problem. Put them on a bridge and their whole body goes out of whack. Why? Because they've linked up unresourceful, fearful states to seeing a bridge. They can walk on the street fine. Some people have it for speaking in front of the room. You know, they can talk to you or me one-on-one, no problem. They go hi and talk to you. Put them in front of 8 people, and all of a sudden they become this person who has no control of their physical body.